Welcome back to the Colorado Expedition. It's our fourth day of travel along the route from Connecticut to Colorado, and over the next 24 hours we'll be exploring southern Kansas in the hopes to prove it's more than just a flyover state. Once we're done here, we will finally reach our destination, the Centennial State. This series of Varsity Overland is supported by Diodynamics, Rollercam, Rocky Talkie Mountain Radio, and F&F Specialty Vehicles, Connecticut's premier vehicle outfitter.
We just arrived in the Cimarron National Grasslands in Kansas after almost a 10-hour drive from the center of Missouri to southwestern Kansas. And the drive actually wasn't that bad. A lot of people talk about how Kansas is one of those like flyover states. There's not a whole lot to look at. It's just wide open land. And because of that, some people find it boring. But honestly, the drive here I found to be pretty cool. It was the first point of the trip, and there's always a point in like every trip there's always a point like this where the terrain and the geography starts to change just enough to make you go, oh yeah, I am definitely not home anymore. And that's kind of what the drive through Kansas felt like. It was just flat, just wide open everywhere. You could just see for miles and miles and miles, which is kind of ironic because I kept thinking in the back of my mind, we're going to be in Colorado pretty soon, and that is not going to be the case in Colorado because of how mountainous it is. So we arrived in the grasslands, and we did actually find a potential campsite that was beautiful. People say you can't overland in Kansas, but you can overland in Kansas. But it was just a little bit difficult to get the truck level, the tent level. The sun wasn't at the right spot. It would have been beaten down on us. There were just a couple factors playing in. We have the dog with us. There were some bees flying around. It was a thing. So we're at a campground again in the grasslands, kind of chilling out for the last night before we actually make it to Colorado. Tomorrow will be our first day in Colorado. This is our final campsite on the drive out, and I cannot wait to see what Colorado has in store.
The views of the Cimarron grasslands were incredible, and although we'd often think of dense forest or tall mountains when planning for this adventure, there's something to be said about finding yourself in a completely unexpected environment along the way. Beautiful surprises like this are what make overland travel so exciting. What is this? After driving what felt like the longest, least maintained dirt road in existence, we stopped to fuel up at the only location our nearly empty gas tank could reach. Nothing like poor planning and lost GPS signal to keep things interesting.
Excuse me. I'm looking for the best overlanding spots in Colorado. Anybody help me out? No. Anybody? No. Hey. Do you not speak English? Is this something to say? Meh.
This area, just 5 minutes from the state line, is known primarily for agriculture and cattle ranching, dating as far back as the early 1920s and 30s. Some old ranch homes, like this one, were abandoned years ago due to repeated dust storms.
So we have arrived at a monument called Tri-Point, which puts us in 3 different states at the same time. We got Colorado, Oklahoma, and New Mexico.
Also known as the Preston Monument, named after one of the original surveyors of these state lines, Levi S. Preston. This location is one of roughly 38 locations where 3 U.S. state lines intersect. And although we had to cross from Kansas to Colorado just to reach this monument, we are considering this point as the official start to our journey through the 38th state of the U.S. Colorado, here we come. Thank you so much for watching and joining us on this adventure. We appreciate your interest as well as the support from companies who help make these videos possible.